Let's be real for a second. Have you ever felt completely and totally stuck? Like, you want to change, you need to change, but you just can't figure out how to even start? Well, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to unpack a simple, but honestly, a really powerful idea that just flips the whole script on how we try to achieve our goals. And here's a hint. It's not about more willpower. It's about a smarter system. So where do we even begin? You see this exact question all over the internet, right? In forums and comments. It's this really raw plea from people who are just so tired of spinning their wheels. It's that feeling of knowing you're capable of more, but you feel trapped in this cycle of frustration. And you know that frustration. It often builds up and leads to a breaking point. For the author, Dean Bokhari, it was literally standing in front of a mirror, just disgusted with who he'd become. This rock bottom moment, this declaration of enough is enough, that's the spark. But here's the thing about a spark. It needs a system to actually become a fire. So why have all our past attempts to change failed? We're so quick to blame ourselves, aren't we? Oh, I don't have enough willpower, I'm just not motivated. But what if the problem isn't you at all? What if it's your approach? What if the whole idea of setting goals is actually where we're going wrong? Okay. To really get this, the author James Clear uses this brilliant metaphor. Think of a rowboat. Your goal? Let's say writing a book. That's the rudder. It absolutely sets the direction, but the rudder by itself can't move the boat 1 inch. Your system, like your weekly writing schedule, those are the oars. The oars are what actually creates progress. So yeah, goals tell you where you're going. Systems are the engine that gets you there. And this leads us to a core idea that can literally change everything. Just think about it for a second. You can have the most ambitious, incredible goal in the world, but when your motivation fades, when life gets in the way, you don't magically rise to meet that goal. No, you fall back to the level of your system. So the secret isn't a better goal, it's a better system. All right, so how do we build that better system? Let's get super practical. Here is a simple 4-step action plan you can start using today for any change you want to make in your life. First things first, you have to focus. Psychologists actually have a name for this. They call it goal competition. Your goals are literally fighting each other for your time and attention. James Clear compares our lives to a rose bush. Now, to get the most beautiful roses, a gardener has to prune away some of the good buds so that the really great ones can fully blossom. So what's the one thing you need to focus on right now? Pick one and then be ruthless about eliminating the rest. This quote just nails our number one excuse, doesn't it? I don't have time. But time is almost never the real issue. A lack of decision is. The second you truly decide on your one priority, you find the time. Focus isn't about having more hours in the day, it's about deciding how to use the ones you've already got. Okay, next up, you have to make your good habits the easiest possible choice. Scientists call this choice architecture. Basically, you're rigging the game in your own favor. Think about it. If you keep junk food in your kitchen, you're probably going to eat it. If you sleep with your phone right next to your bed, you're probably going to check it first thing. So change the architecture. Want to exercise? Put some dumbbells right by your desk. Want to drink more water? Keep a water bottle with you all day long. Make the right choice, the default choice. Now, the biggest number one enemy of a new habit is perfectionism. We think, oh, I have to do a full hour at the gym. And when we can't, we do nothing. The solution? Start with an action that is so small, so tiny, you literally can't say no to it. You want to meditate? Meditate for 1 minute. You want to start flossing? Just floss 1 tooth. The goal isn't results on day 1. The goal is simply to show up. That's it. Baby steps are the key. And there's this really clever way to lock in these tiny habits. It's called habit stacking. So instead of trying to remember a new habit out of the blue, you link it or stack it on top of a routine you already have. For example, after I brew my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. Or maybe before I take my morning shower, I will do 10 push-ups. See, you're anchoring the new habit to an existing one that's already automatic. It's genius. And finally, You have to make your progress visible. Honestly, one of the most motivating feelings in the world is seeing how far you've come. I read the story about a user on Reddit who struggled with cleaning until they started taking before and after photos. Just that visual proof was a massive motivator. You could also try James Clear's paperclip strategy. You just move a paperclip from one jar to another every time you complete a task. That visual cue of your progress, it's incredibly powerful. Now you might be thinking, okay, hold on. 1 minute of meditation, flossing one tooth, how is it actually going to change my life? And you know what? That's a totally fair question, but it misses the surprising, almost magical power of tiny, consistent gains over time. This is the magic number. That's it. Forget about massive overnight transformation. The goal is just this: get 1% better every single day. It's the power of the compound effect. If you improve by just 1% each day, by the end of the year, you'll be nearly 38 times better. Think about that. That tiny, impossibly small habit, when you repeat it consistently, it doesn't just add up, it compounds. And that is how the system delivers the goal, not through one big heroic effort, but through hundreds of small, easy ones. So in the end, it all comes back to this. Real, lasting change isn't about setting a bigger, more impressive goal. It's about building a better system. One that's based on focus, a smart environment, tiny habits, and visible progress. That is how you truly change your life. So forget the grand 5-year plan. For just a moment, I want you to ask yourself a much more powerful question. What's one impossibly small system you can start right now to get just 1% better today?